This is the best value rally car kit on the RC market, and today it's build video part 2, where we're gonna give this thing a body, some electronics, and at the end you'll get to see this baby in action. So let's show you what we're going with and get this thing finished. So at first I was gonna grab one of these Rally Legends bodies, and I was really looking at the Audi Quattro. Then I thought, nah, this is a newish rally car, so let's go for something more modern. So I thought the Toyota Gazoo Yaris WRC would be the perfect candidate for this, and there's a couple reasons why. Now the first reason is this box actually has a little bit of damage on it when it arrived from the distributor, and I hate selling box damaged items to customers. Now reason number 2, I mean, just look how sick this body actually is. Pretty cool, but it gets better because you got the molded wing and spoiler for it. You got these Lexan headlights you got to cut out, and then I believe these are the fender flares, and I don't remember, maybe the hood vents or something. I can't quite remember. We'll figure it out in a little bit. All the hardware and stuff. But the real treat is this decal sheet, which means we can cheat and paint the body one color and then use this to fill in the rest, so don't have to do no complicated paint jobs on this thing. And for the color, we're going to be giving Spaz Sticks a try. This is the first time I've ever used this paint before. We're going to be running the candy blue followed by the silver metallic. Hopefully give it that nice candy sparkle look. As you can tell, this is not going to just be a simple cut and paint body, so let's get busy to get this project done. Okay, so now you can see we got a jacked up body on this rally car. So we got to trim these fenders, that way we can set the body down and figure out where exactly those body posts need to mount up. But one thing first, if you've never done a Tamiya body before, they are absolutely excellent. The Lexan is super thin and easy to cut, and they include a full-on instruction manual with their bodies that makes the entire process so easy. These are beyond beginner-friendly bodies. Okay, here she is all trimmed and cut up. As far as trimming goes, I did have to trim those rear fenders quite a bit as well, just to give us enough suspension clearance. And then up front, that foam bumper, I did have to trim the edges up. Louise does offer different kinds of front bumpers, so I'm not sure if one of them maybe would fit right in. You wouldn't have to trim anything with this body. But either way, it was super quick and easy just to trim that up. And then the inner fenders, I ended up trimming a lot from when we originally had them on there. They are no longer big elephant ears. They are super slim. They fit in there super tight and should help keep debris from caking up inside of the upper parts of the body. While we wait for the paint to dry, it's time for us to get busy with the electronics. For the servo, we're going to be running the SRT 7012 coreless. It should be way more than enough power for a 10 scale rally car and provide plenty of speed and torque. For the power system, we're going to be running the brushless 50 amp 4600 kV combo from Connect, and we're going to be stealing it out of our broken Lancia Stratos. If you want to see how we broke that car, we're going to leave a link to a video over here. And you might notice this chassis looks eerily similar to this chassis. We're going to explain that in another video when we build the LDX version of this car, so stay tuned. As far as radio and receiver, you know we're going to bust out that Connect X9S to control all the goodies in our Louise LRX rally car. If you're unfamiliar with SRT, they've been around for a while, mostly dedicated to the 10th and 8th scale racing side of things, but they make some top-notch servos for a pretty middle of the ground price, and these do come with a 1-year factory warranty also. So if you have any problem with your SRT servo, you just fill this out and send that directly to SRT and they'll take care of you. Look how low profile this is. Perfect for like 10 scale buggies and stuff, and it's gonna give us a lot of extra room in our chassis so everything isn't like super piled onto each other. We now have steering, time for a power plant. And 16 screws just to get the motor out of that and into that, not counting the actual mounting screws. That's just the gear case cover. Now this car features a 27 tooth pinion also, so we're actually keeping the same gear ratio from this car over to the Louise. Okay, and as you can see, it's going to be crowded. There is ways to clean this up. You can shorten these wires and shorten all them, but we're not going to because we're going to be using this system on other cars in the future. But for now, that's what it's looking like. We're just missing the receiver in there, and then we're ready to run. Time to go finish painting that body. Why does it always have to be raining whenever we're painting on the channel? Okay, 3 coats of the candy blue. This is what we're working with. I think that should be plenty. There's a couple spots that are pretty light, but it does say the paint will stay light until you back it. So it appears I have unintentionally made the most Subaru-looking Toyota I have ever seen. Let's hopefully fix that with some decals. Alright, that's it for now. I'll catch back up with you guys once we get some stickers on there. Alright guys, and there it is, the Louise LRX rally car, all painted and liveried up with the Toyota Gazoo Yaris body. I think it came out absolutely great, and now that the decals are on, it definitely looks a little bit more like a Toyota. Alright guys, and decal on this body did remind me how much we need to get our own clear scale sticker sheet. I was able to steek the Keep It Naughty on the pillars though. And before we run it real quick, I wanted to bring you guys down closer to the motor so you can see how it's sitting in there. The motor plates on these are a little tricky. I actually have the one off the Rally Legends. It's the same exact thing, just a different color. But see how them holes mount up? There's a lot of motors that may not line up correctly with those, like the Connect. So I had it lined up correctly in the mount, but the problem was the motor was rotated up this way, and with the pinion gear on there, it was actually rubbing right in here, and it was locking the entire drivetrain up because the pinion was too big. You'd actually have to drop down to like a 24 tooth, probably, maybe a 25 tooth in order to mount it correctly. So on the plate, what I had to do is kind of put a screw in there just a tad bit sideways, more so than you probably should, in order to get the mount on there and get the motor at a lower angle so it sits down in the chassis almost on top of our switch, and that way the pinion gear has enough clearance inside the diff cover. Now of course the other option is you could just take the diff cover off, and with this I really wouldn't see that being too big of a problem on most surfaces, but we want to run this as complete as possible since it's the first running of this car, so that's where we're at. We'll do a little bit of bashing, some speed runs, and then we'll move on to 3S. Let's get it in and get to running. So you can tell she is a little nose heavy coming off that jump even when staying in the throttle, but nothing that isn't fixable. Now on the oil stone road we have here, this thing is absolutely freaking planted. I mean, I'm driving one-handed right now, just kind of messing around, but holy baloney, she's sticking. I still can't believe how smooth this car actually is on 2S. I mean, if you want to take a Sunday leisurely drive around your parking lot, this would be the car to do it. It's on. Oh, scratched up our new paint job there with a little bit of barrel roll. 19.5 on that first run. Let's try it again. There we go, 26.9. It's basically 27 miles per hour on 2S. Four-wheel drive. Lots of low end torque, just like a regular rally car. We'll give it one more pass here, but man, this thing is so fun to drive on 2S. Holy crap. The suspension's not too long, it's just the right length. Four-wheel drive. Gear diffs all the way through. It just wants to do rally car things with its rally car friends. Also, pretty good suspension clearance on the gravel too. The chassis sits up a little bit, provides a little bit of body roll, but definitely helps get over that uneven terrain that you would want to see in a rally car. Okay, so we live in upstate New York. There's lots of pine needles, and of course the driveway is gravel here. Got a little bit in the chassis. Definitely better than the Lancia Stratos with no chassis cover. So, swap that out for 3S. Oh, she is a screamer now. Now, fortunately, GPS wasn't working, so we're gonna give this one more shot here. Okay. 30.5, 3S first run. I think we can do better though. We just took an absolutely massive crash at the end of that speed run. We hit some gravel and holy crap. This thing got at least 3 feet off the air on that first roll. That time we're showing 33.4 miles an hour. GPS works okay. It's not always collecting the data though, so we're gonna say between 30-35 mile an hour on 3S. Oh no. Oh no. We lost the wheel. No. It's still going though. I actually had wondered if that was gonna be a problem with these hexes on the rear. As you can see, the nut's not fully on there. And also the body's taken the abuse quite well overall. We had some really nasty crashes that we didn't get on camera from those speed runs. And I mean, really nasty. This thing was probably 3 or 4 feet in the air. Obviously it skidded a little bit when it came down, but yeah, no major cracks or breakages. I'll take it. So with the dust cover removed, just one thing to point out, it might actually be doing more harm than good and just trapping all the dust and heat inside of the chassis instead of letting it get out. So overall though, battery feels good. Motor is still nice and cool even after all this running. I'll take it. Just very, 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 very dirty. I was hoping this was going to keep more of that out, but all the power slides and jumps are worth it. So let's go get another wheel nut. So I did swap the hexes and it didn't make a difference. Of course, the axles, I believe, are the same length front and rear, so it wouldn't really do anything anyway. Just wanted to try it. So if you do want to run the wider hexes in the rear that come with the kit, you're going to want to get a thinner nut like this. That way you actually get threads all the way through, because these standard nuts, there's no axle threads sticking out in the rear. There's going to be a little bit of a gap like there is on this side, but we run her till the wheels fall off. So I'm not sure if you guys can tell by looking at the ramp, but there is an absolute nasty pitch of an angle, and it's almost set up like a kickflip ramp here. The car's going to come off slightly sideways once we launch this thing here. Oh, Nosedive right into the ground. This thing power slides absolutely amazing. Alright guys, there you go, a look at a very well used and dirty now Louise LRX 110 scale 4-wheel drive RC rally car. This is one of those purchases that is just, it's worth every dime, every penny. I know you've heard me say that before about a couple things, and then we do the tests, and then at the end it's like, well, it's worth it, but here's this and so this. There's no bad things really about this. A little bit of tweaking on like the motor mount and stuff, but overall this thing just performs absolutely amazing. The 4600 kV with the 27 tooth pinion turned out to work really well. Zero overheating issues, performed great on 2 and 3S. On 2S, this car is super tame, still has a little bit of torquiness, a little bit of get up and go. Sunday driver, but a fun one. And then 3S, it really wakes this car up and just turns it to a whole different vehicle, but it's still very, very, very drivable. The suspension and drivetrain are super smooth, work together flawlessly. Of course, the chassis cover doesn't do the greatest to dust on the fine gravel, but is what it is. Also, the Tamiya body did very well, held up to the abuse. I really wish we would have got those crashes on camera. They were really gnarly. SRT servo hiding under the X9S receiver did its job magnificently. That servo is super smooth, really torquey in this little rally car setup. As always, if you're interested in anything on the vehicle, you know, the body, electronics, we're gonna have links down in the description below to everything. Gonna take you right to the website, to that item. We're not sponsored. These builds come out of our pocket, and yes, we do sell this stuff, but we still have to pay for it ourselves, and trust me, it ain't cheap for us. We ain't becoming millionaires off the stuff, that's for dang sure. Also want to give a shout out to our Rage Supercat MX RC boat giveaway winner, Malay. You've been announced in that description of that video. We've shouted you out on Instagram, sent you an email. Please email us back so we can give you your boat. I'd hate to have to give it away to someone else after you already won it. That would really stink. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Louise LRX videos. We're also going to be doing a Louise versus Rally Legends versus LC Racing PT.2. Another build coming soon. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe if you can. Check out some other videos on the channel. As always, you can visit us on our website, www.naughtyboyrc.com. And remember, keep it naughty.